Before I go any further, I want to take a moment to look at some of the tools that we have available to us in public decision making. When it comes to public debates, there are several different routes that we can choose. We can, one, use power to simply tell people what needs to be done. Unfortunately, the exercise of power tends to be focused on a narrow portion of the population and often excludes a lot of different perspectives. Another option is to employ dogma and simply accept whatever ideas we have without critically thinking about them. In the short term, this is an easy way to go because we don't have to put in the work to analyze and question and develop our ideas. In the long term, however, it tends to not be very productive because the solutions that we come up with are flawed. Another option that is applied in several circumstances is science. Science certainly employs critical thinking and is open to advancing its ideas, but we're somewhat limited by what science tells us. When we're coming up with social decisions, science can only do so much for us. There's also the dialectic, which allows a little more of the social to be considered. And the dialectic also employs critical thinking because it's trying to pursue the best ideas. One downside to the dialectic, though, is that it's based on a process of winners and losers. One perspective is trying to pick apart the argument of the other, and the other is trying to defend itself. And as a result, you've got a very competitive process in which people from each side may not look at their own perspectives critically. And we also have argumentation available to us. Now, argumentation shares some characteristics with the dialectic. In fact, the argumentation process actually has two kind of separate but parallel mechanisms for making public decisions. One is based on that idea of the best idea winning, and that's what it really shares with the dialectic. And this is really useful in constructing good arguments and supporting them. However, when we focus too much on winning, as we saw in some of our examples, then it tends to get a little out of hand, and we're so focused on winning that argument that we don't critically think about our ideas as much as we should.